people trying to escape from Ukraine, especially African students, Indian students, people of color. They faced a lot of discrimination at the border, either from certain Ukrainians or certain Poles. And I wanted to show you this video of an Iranian student who got out, and listen to their experience trying to get out of Ukraine. Take a look.
از کیف به سمت شهر لوو با قطار اومدیم. بعد که رسیدیم شهر لوو، این اوکراینیا فقط خودشون رو سوار میکردن به سمت لهستان. ما خارجی ها رو راه نمیدادن، اونم فقط زن و بچه‌شون. بعد ما مجبور شدیم با پیاده از شهر لوو تا لهستان با پای پیاده بیایم مرز شهینی، اگه اشتباه نکنم اسمش بود. تو این مرز 6 روز ما بدون آب و غذا و خواب تو سرما بودیم. بعد نیروهای اوکراینی با ما خیلی بد رفتاری میکردن، نه فقط ما ایرانی‌ها، با تمام خارجی‌ها. اتباع خودشون رو راحت از مرز رد میکردن، فقط ما رو جا میذاشتن. اصلا به بد رفتاری به تمام معنا، خیلی وحشیانه رفتار میکردن. مخصوصا شبا، معذرت میخوام، مشروبات الکلی مصرف میکردن، شبا وحشی‌تر میشدن، با باتوم و این چیزا میزدن. مخصوصا سیاه‌پوستا رو خیلی اونجا اذیت میکردن. بعد نمیذاشتن آتیش روشن کنیم، مجبور شدیم لباسه خودمون رو آتیش بزنیم. کنار من یا سیاه‌پوستی بود، متاسفانه جون داد. هرچی تلاش کردم گرم بشه بیارمش پیش آتیش، ولی جون داد، مرد. نه تنها این، خیلی های دیگه هم بودن تو این سرما، یخ زدن و هیچ آب و غذایی هم نبود.
واقعا حس حالش که خیلی حس حال سختیه، چون به هر حال یه دوران جنگی بود که گذشت. و من اینجا میخوام تشکر بکنم از سفارت لهستان، خیلی به ما کمک کردن، سفارت ایران توی لهستان. ولی خب متاسفانه سفارت ایران توی اوکراین هیچ کمکی نکردن و خیلی ما به سختی تونستیم از اوکراین خارج بشیم و واقعا خیلی سخت.
در وهله اول من یه نارضایتی از سفارت ایران در اوکراین دارم، چون واقعا نرسیدن به دانشجوها. خیلی مجبور شدن پیاده وسط خیلی چیزای خطرناک پیاده برن تا ایستگاه قطار. گفته بودن ماشین میفرستن فلان، ولی به تعداد کم کسایی که خودشون زندگی میکردن هیچ ساپورتی نشدن. ولی از وقتی که ما وارد ورشو شدیم، یعنی لهستان، سفارت ایران در لهستان واقعا تمام تلاشش رو کرد که همه کمکی رو به ما کرد، از بابت اسکان، مواد غذایی، همه چیز خوب بود.
That is incredible. That is heartbreaking. So someone who's black literally froze to death, and they didn't make it. I'm gonna play that part again. I mean, just that is. Look, he said they would hit people with batons and other things, especially black people. They harassed black people a lot there. They wouldn't let us start a fire, so we had no choice but to burn our clothes. Beside me, there was a black person that unfortunately died.
روشن کنیم، مجبور شدیم لباسه خودمون رو آتیش بزنیم. کنار من یا سیاه‌پوستی بود، متاسفانه جون داد. هرچی تلاش کردم گرم بشه بیارمش پیش آتیش، ولی جون داد، مرد.
That is so messed up. I mean, I was already shocked by the videos that were coming out, which I showed many of them to you, how people were being treated at the border, especially, people of color. But this is just, I mean, someone died. I didn't hear that anywhere in the media. I mean, again, we need to confirm, but I have absolutely no doubt and no reason to believe that this person here is lying, just going on TV and lying about their experience. That someone died. That's not something man, that is horrible. That is absolutely horrible. Look at these videos just so you remember what it was like.
Everybody go down. Everybody go down. You are dying of cold.
They're saying over here that Africans were not allowed to enter. So you have people fleeing as refugees. I don't understand this. Like, when you have refugees coming out of war zone, everyone's fleeing the war zone. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't change that it's a war zone. What bloody difference does it make? And then look at them all sitting here, segregated like this. Not allowed to take trains. Not allowed to cross the border. No food. This is real. This is all real. I think it's like one white person in the room. I don't know what but that doesn't change anything. These are all black people, and I heard, I showed you people talking about how they were treated, posting it on Twitter. I mean, this is really stunning. This is absolutely staggering that this is still happening. I mean, not that it's right in any other period of time, but you would think today a bit different. Look at this: Africans being prevented from boarding trains to border areas as Ukraine continues with its pre-war Ukraine first policy. You know, so they're stopping them from fleeing the war zone and getting on the train and saying that it's Ukrainians first. What difference does it make what nationality you are? The bomb doesn't gonna, you know, when the bombs are falling, they're not gonna sit there and ask you for your ID and your passport and then decide to kill you or not. God, this is so barbaric what they're doing, like segregating people like that and saying that, oh, you're a little less legitimate as a refugee than this guy. They're all coming from the same place. They're all civilians. There is nothing in the Refugee Convention that lets you discriminate on someone seeking asylum based on their skin color, their nationality. Nothing. Whether you give them refugee status is another issue, but you have to take in and process their asylum request. That's your obligation under the UN Refugee Convention 1951. And Poland is a signatory. And it's not just about Poland, because people inside Ukraine, I showed you their stories. Go watch the separate video when I went into more detail. People inside Ukraine were being harassed by other Ukrainians. And again, I'm not saying that everyone in Ukraine is racist and so on, but these are a lot of people here who are reporting the same experience. Indians, Africans, Iranians. You're going to come here and tell me it's fake? No, absolutely not. The video is right there for you to say. It's right there for you to see. And I mean, someone froze to death. What cruelty. This is so cruel. This is absolute cruelty. And, you know, this is really sobering because they want to tell you, it's like the neo-Nazi thing. They say, no, there's no neo-Nazis in Ukraine. And then you see, oh, who was that? Azov? C-14? Oh, they got Western weapons? Western funding? And the same thing here. They want to say, no, there's no racism. And, you know, people of color, foreigners who are in Ukraine, living there, studying there, who, no matter what they're doing, they could be gazing at the bloody sky. They have the right to seek asylum and the right to flee a war zone. I don't care what they are, what you want to call them, students, teachers. It doesn't matter. This is irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. And they're treating them like that. This is despicable. This is honestly despicable. And I cannot believe that someone died. And I didn't even hear about that. I mean, I was already disgusted enough, but this is really bad. And I just want to say thank you to Ilhan, because I actually saw the video here. And I asked him if he had a version with English subtitles, and he translated the whole video that I just showed you now with the Iranian student speaking with the English subtitles. He translated the whole video for me and made the subtitles. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ilhan. I really appreciate it. Shukran ktir. Shukran jaziran. Look here, Ukraine police pushing a black girl off the train.
The black girl go. They're not letting 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 the black girl go. The black girl.
This is it's very upsetting. And again, it's kind of like the whole racism with the news anchors. You know, they come on the screen and they're like, yes, well, you know, the situation in Ukraine is very dire, and this is a civilized country. This is a European country. It's not like those brown people, those muzzies in Syria and Afghanistan. War is normal there. This is a civilized country. Like, as if the tragedy is somehow more valid and legitimate and amplified just by virtue of taking place in Europe. Right? And the idea that this is not inherent to the European continent. You know, violence is not normal. It's violence. Violence is normal for those Arabs over there, those backwards Muslim people, you know, the savages. We're in Europe, oh boy. Violence is not inherent to these parts, yes? What the hell are you talking about? World War I, World War II, the genocides, Holocaust, 6 million Jews, Cold War for 60 years, Yugoslavia. And that's just the last century. That's just the last 100 years. You're telling me violence is not inherent to Europe? Who the fuck brought the violence to the Middle East? Who brought the violence to the Middle East that you're talking about? Who invaded Iraq? Who invaded Afghanistan? Who bombed Libya? Who bombed Syria? They did that to themselves? You fucking smartass, you prick. Disgusting, disgusting racism. Disgusting ignorance. Appalling. These people are scum. They're not reporters. They're just fucking racists with a microphone. Get out of here. No one cares about you. You're actually doing a disservice to the civilians in Ukraine. you're doing a disservice and taking focus away from what's going on there, because you could easily report about the tragedy that's going on, the very valid tragedy that you have 2 million refugees now, Ukrainian refugees, without saying that, oh yeah, these refugees are white and they're blonde-haired and blue-eyed and somehow more fucking, human, and they're more worthy than those brown people. Just shut the fuck up. Why do you even say all of this? Just shut the fuck up. You don't even, the whole last part you could have left out. You idiots. And it's not just one, it's not two, it's dozens of them. And that's also the racism here in the border, where you're seeing them push Africans and Indians and Iranians off the train because they're not white and blonde-haired and blue-eyed. The bombs don't care what passport you have. They don't care what nationality you are. They don't care where you were born. They don't care what fucking pigment you have in your skin. They don't give a shit. And you have no right, as a signatory of the 1951 Refugee Convention, to discriminate on people seeking asylum because you don't like what fucking skin color they have. No right. Not a fucking word in the Refugee Convention says that you can discriminate on religion or race or what status, whether they're a plumber or a student. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. And so this is the Ukraine issue. It brings out really the disgusting hypocrisy in all ways, in everything imaginable, right? Every facet imaginable. It's okay to fund neo-Nazis, yeah? All of a sudden, anti-Semitism is not a problem. You know why? Because these anti-Semites, the neo-Nazis in Ukraine, the people who are celebrating a fucking Nazi collaborator who was participating in the Holocaust, that's okay. That's not anti-Semitism because it's against Russia. But if you want to stand up for Palestinians who are themselves Semites, then you're an anti-Semite. What kind of upside down goddamn logic is that? What kind of discourse is this? Who speaks like this? What is this madness? So all of a sudden, that's not anti-Semitic. In Israel funding those neo-Nazis, you're sending them weapons. The UK sending them weapons. The US sending them weapons. That's not anti-Semitic. They're okay with those anti-Semites. Those are our anti-Semites. The Azov and the C-14. And racism is okay, right? As long as it's not towards Ukrainians, it's towards, Arabs and Muslims and so on. That's okay. That war is good for them. Man. And they talk about armed struggle as well. Like, yeah, it's totally fine to go to Ukraine. You don't need a visa. We'll give you the guns. Go shoot Russians. Go on Twitter and say, I want to kill Russians. I want to murder them. I want to nuke the country. I want to kill Putin. And that's fine. Like, Twitter is bending the rules so you can go on Twitter and express hate and contempt and disdain for Russians. Not Putin. Not Putin's cabinet, not the Russian government, just Russians. Anything Russian. Russian trees, Russian vodka, Russian cars, everything. It's banned, it's gone, deleted, cancelled. What kind of sick, demented, uncivilized, Neanderthalic culture is this? How does this promote anything of virtue? How does this promote anything democratic, anything sane, anything rational? It's the complete opposite. It's fucking collective madness. People are going crazy because of this Russophobia, this propaganda. Russia, 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 Russia. Go and fuck yourself with your neo-McCarthyism. I'm so sick of this. It's so diseased and sick, right? Every single day, brainwashing people with this propaganda. Shut the fuck up. I wish they had the same amount of hate. I wish they had the same amount of hate for the corporations and the weapons manufacturers and big pharma and big oil. I wish. Somewhere where it's rightly placed, it's aptly placed. I wish. Of course, that's not the case. It's much better to demonize and victimize civilians in another country. Let's pit these people against these people, make them go fight each other and fuck each other up, and we'll sit back comfortably and make money and chill, and we're safe in our nuclear bunkers, and we're okay. You go fight. Even NATO's like, we're not going to fight for you. We're not going to do a no-fly zone. We're not sending troops. No. Here, you take these guns and go fight yourself. Good luck with that. You really see again how they don't give a shit even about Ukraine. Oh, we care about Ukraine. Oh, we're going to put the colors on the monuments for Ukraine. We're going to do all of this for Ukraine. When it comes down to it, they ain't doing shit for Ukraine. That's what you get for being a U.S. ally. That's how they treat you in the end, right? They always stab you in the back. They stabbed Ukraine in the back. They stabbed the Kurds in the back. Even Saddam Hussein at one point, right? He was doing their bidding. He stabbed him in the back. Guaido In Venezuela, they stabbed him in the back. This is a trend. This is the mafia. They use you, and then when they're done with you, they cut you loose. They cut you loose. They off you, and they get rid of you. God, it's like no one can escape it, you know? Even the people have absolutely nothing to do with this, like African students. What the fuck did they ever do? What do they have to do with this crisis that you are treating them like that? You know? What is this you differentiate between this person and that person when they're leaving the same area? If there's a toxin, if there's a war, if there's a danger, if there's a hazard, if there's an impending doom, that force does not care about where you come from or what color you are. They don't give a shit. It's going to affect you, right? It's like you got a tsunami coming. The tsunami doesn't care who you are and what you do. It's coming. And so you're trying to, whites only, whites first. God, really, way to tell on yourself. You know, if there was any shred of credibility left to these people who are claiming that, there's no racism in Ukraine, there's no neo-Nazis, all of that has gone through the window because all we're seeing are neo-Nazis and we're seeing a lot of racism. And again, that doesn't mean everyone in Ukraine is like that. It is a minority. That's my point. But that minority of racists, that minority of neo-Nazis is exuding, is demonstrating, is capable, exerts much more force, has much more power than the others. And that is the fundamental problem. Do you understand? Because every country has scumbags and racists. Every single country on earth has scumbags and racists and people who are violent and fringe groups. The problem is when those people take power, when they have power, whether it's de facto or it's legal, that is the issue. Do you understand? And I saw videos also of people from the Maghreb, so North Africa, Arabs from North Africa, Algeria, Morocco, who were fleeing, and they were saying the same thing about how they were treated like crap and all this racism. It's really awful, man. I really don't like all of this. What's happening to the Ukrainians? I don't like all of the neo-Nazi shit, the racism, the war. I'm really upset by all of this. I don't like this at all. There's enough wars as it is. This is the last thing we need, It's already bad enough shoving people off the train, shoving them and segregating them just for being black. But one of them even died from that. Deaths now. Because they're freezing to death. I mean, this is scandalous. It's a calamity of a scandal, of an atrocity. I mean, they're just building on top of it. You don't have to die for the racism to count. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to freeze people to death or risk them. Just risk them being in such a situation for it to be an abomination. Yeah. But if that is true, then that's all the more heartbreaking. And again, 2 million refugees now from Ukraine. Man, that is really upsetting and very sad. Again, these are people who've done nothing. It's just like in Syria, it's just like in Iraq, they're civilians. They have, most people, they probably have no clue about the politics. They don't care. They don't have time for this. They're busy enough working. And that's the tragedy. It's that it's innocent people. And another thing I wanted to tell you, where you see this hypocrisy of, we care about Ukraine, and then they screw the Ukrainians. The UK has been, again, beating this drum about we love Ukraine and we stand with the Ukrainians. And then when it comes to taking in refugees, they haven't waived the visa requirements. So they basically want you to go and apply to come in instead of, doing what Poland is doing. And obviously the UK has way more resources than Poland. So if Poland can do it, what's the UK's excuse? What is the UK's excuse? There is no excuse for this, especially in when we look at, for example, Iraq and Afghanistan. I mean, it's not just a question of, we should abide by the Refugee Convention and we should do our part as a UN member state, and this is the humane thing to do. It's not just that. It's like we started this war. We killed these people. We made them refugees. You have a debt. You are indebted to them. You must take them in. This is the minimum that you can do, and it's the bare minimum. Not even the bare minimum. But of course that doesn't happen, and the same for the US and so on, And again, that's it really speaks to how things usually work. If you look at the wars, it's always the countries around it that take in the most refugees, and usually these countries do not have the infrastructure that the countries doing the wars do.